I was just saying you're in charge of the YouTube um, comments. Do you know where to go to for the YouTube comments? Do you remember that?
Is it on the YouTube link that just
Yes.
started up?
Yeah, but don't
Nice.
but don't broadcast that or don't play it live. Stop it because I'm hearing the feedback right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so just stop it and then the comments will appear there. And oh my. Okay, so this is so great. No, don't do that. And now my come on. My internet connection or something is now so slow. Oh, please stop it.
The Netflix party is starting.
Okay, let me go to here. Come on. Sorry, everyone who's watching.
Is there anybody watching?
There's
It'd
one
probably
viewer.
be my parents.
Nice. Hello, Zoe's parents.
Actually, that's me.
Oh, stop. Oh, Doug, you ruined it.
The one viewer is us.
All right. Okay, I am. Oh no, now I remember. See, this is the awesomeness of not doing this very often because I'm like on the wrong page here. Okay, here we go. Now I got to start this or something. I got to go share. No, go live. There we go. Go live. Come on.
What time is it where all you guys are?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Okay, well, I'm going to put something. Hi, patrons. We're broadcasting on YouTube.
Going live.
We are live.
Down.
Okay.
Podcast.
Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see if any of my patrons arrive. Okay. I don't know if you remember this, Zoe, from last time, but I just do a little gap and then I go right in and introduce everybody.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there. And you're in Denmark right now.
I am, yeah.
What is that Shakespeare play about Denmark? Is something not right in Denmark or something?
Well, I think Prince of Denmark was Hamlet. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's this famous line from that, and I can't remember it. Shows how much I paid attention. All right. Here we go.
People died. It was sad.
Right here.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Does it go where in the mind to suffer the sling arrows of outrageous fortune?
Oh, wow. Doug. You must have been... Hey, wait a minute, Doug. That backdrop does look awesome. Let's look at Doug. Doug, speak again. I want to look at that backdrop.
Talk so we can see your background.
Talk.
Yeah, well, does it look like I'm down on the farm?
Yeah, it does. That is awesome. All right. Okay, here we go. Aloha, patrons and listeners. This is Stuart Yoshida with the OokTown Podcast, where we talk about all things ukulele. Wow. So this is our, Doug, what was this? This is our third live podcast that we're live streaming. And as everyone who's been watching this podcast or broadcast can tell, we're still learning all the ins and outs. Patrons, if you're logged on to, if you go on to your Patreon page, but you have to have the app, the iOS or the Android app. Then you can actually chat with me live while we're broadcasting, and I can see them. At least that's the theory. Try it out, and we'll see how it goes. If you hear a little background noise, we're thinking that's from Denmark, but
yeah.
And that's our first
background sounds.
That's our first and second guest. So I want to welcome back to the show, Zoe Bestel. Hey, Zoe, you know what I forgot to do? How do you pronounce your last name?
Bestel.
Okay, I got it right. How come that sounds French. Is that French?
It is French. Yeah,
wow.
it's French.
But you're wow. Okay. But then I get confused because you live in Scotland, right?
Yeah. I live in Scotland, but you can tell from my accent that I'm not Scottish. But
I don't know. That sounds pretty Scottish to me.
Okay, it's not. It's really not.
It's not.
Yeah, that's because you're from Colorado, Stuart. That's
right.
I'm not Scottish at all. I'm very English, but I like to say I'm British. But yeah, no, my last name is from France. I apparently am descendant from some French aristocrats that fled during the Revolution. So we survived. So apparently there's a chateau in France with our name on it.
With Bestel. Chateau Bestel. I love it.
Yeah.
That sounds like a wine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be a wine. All right. Welcome back to the show. Doug, you're the man. When was the last time Zoe was on? You can look that up while
she was on the podcast. Oh, and Heather Bestel says hello.
Nice.
Oh, that's my mum.
Nice.
Hi, Mum.
All right, and also on the show, I want to also welcome back Abraham Deshotel, also known as Ukulele Abe. So,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Yeah, so it gets confusing because you go by Ukulele Abe, and I'm going to have to try and remember that. So if you hear me saying Abe, you know that I forgot.
Well, actually, I mean, a lot of people call me Abraham, Abe, and Abe. Abe is the nickname that is cute, and like my students, I ask them to call me Mr. Abe because there are Mr. Desotels and Mrs. Desotels where I work. There's a lot of family members there, and it's cuter for the kids.
Okay,
more fun.
Well, I'll try and do Mr. Abe.
Yeah,
how's that?
Anything.
Kind of like Mr. Rogers. And the man of the hour is Doug Brown, my co-host. You know, I was supposed to introduce you second, as the.
It's not a problem. Everybody knows who I am. But hey, it's great to be talking to you guys, and it's good to talk with you, Stuart.
Hey, and look at that shirt, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Great shirt. See, this is the beauty of live broadcasting on video, because we get to see people. And Doug, you have the Fort Uke shirt. I can see that's very nice of you to do that.
And you have the Wonder Woman shirt, which they did not have a ukulele in Wonder Woman, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll let it slide this time.
No. This is my women empowerment shirt. So if you guys seen the movie, she kicks butt in that movie. So go and see it if you haven't. I can't believe anyone hasn't seen that movie. Although I shouldn't say that. Have you guys, Zoe and Mr. Abe, have you seen?
Surprisingly not. I haven't.
I haven't.
Unfortunately.
No.
I've seen a lot about it, and I've seen a lot of parts of it. I've never seen it all the way through, unfortunately.
We'll make sure not to tell you that Vader is her father. So
that's why we have Doug, so he can do the not spoilers. All right, before we begin the meat of the show, I'm hoping that you guys can help me answer. I was just thinking about this while I was making lunch. Some existential questions, okay? And you might be able to tell what I was cooking for lunch. How do you determine which way a hot dog bun opens? If you guys know what I'm talking about, you ever get those hot dog buns and then they're kind of stuck together and then you're trying to open it up? What's your technique? I'm going to start with Doug. Or no, okay, Mr. Abe, go ahead.
If they don't open, then you need a knife and you cut them, and you can just pick. But if it's made right, it should already have the little thing where you open it.
It
like
does,
a little book, and it's just
Well, it does, but it just like it doesn't. It's like I'm trying one side and then I flip it over. I try the other, and it goes. I can see the line, but it's not opening. I don't know.
Well, when the people bring the hot dog to you, it's already done, so you don't have to worry about it.
See?
Just don't make your own hot dogs.
Exactly. That's the way to do it.
If you can't make hot dogs, you can't cook anything, right? The easiest thing.
I don't know. All right, Zoe. Your
Yeah,
turn. Do they
I'm
have
just.
hot dogs over there? First of all,
Yeah. I mean, Denmark's known for their hot dogs. That's the
are you
biggest.
kidding?
No. Genuinely, it's like the main, like they're known for Denmark hot dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's the thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is I didn't even know that, and I came up with this question. Okay, so do they have that problem over there in Denmark?
No, they also have a different type of. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but they have a different type of hot dog bread that you don't slice it open that way, but there's like a little hole in the top, and the hot dog goes in.
Nice.
I don't know how. So yeah,
that is like a pre-made. What do they call that? Dog in the bun, or anyway, we have that in the States. A what dog?
A corn dog.
Corn dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Wow.
Ish.
So have you guys heard of King Diamond? He's like a Danish death metal guy. Well, I was working at a club in the late 90s where he was playing at, and because they brought their own lighting guy, I got to drive him around. And after the show, his manager, we dropped him off, and his manager said, "Oh, well, King really likes hot dogs, so we're going to go get him a hot dog." It's like,
wow.
Okay. We ended up going, because it was 2:00 in the morning, and we went to the 7-Eleven, and this little piece of leather that had turned back and forth. It looked terrible. And they're like, "Oh, King's going to be so happy that we found some hot dogs for him."
No.
And I was joking about it. Like, boy, I'm glad you guys found a hot dog. And they said, "Do you want a hot dog?" I'm like, no, I'm okay. They're like, "Doug, have a hot dog." I'm like, okay. So it's in a Ziploc bag somewhere in my house.
Nice.
Under quarantine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for your answers on that one. Existential question number 2. What's the proper protocol when you text the wrong number? Because as a sender, what's the protocol? And then as the recipient, I can tell you that I just recently, and maybe it was because I was trying to cook the hot dog and text at the same time, but I did text the wrong person. I must have put that number in my phone wrong because, I was texting some friends, and someone finally wrote back. This guy wrote, or I don't even know their gender, wrote back and said, "Who's this Todd you're trying to get a hold of?" I'm like, whoops. Okay, that's the setup. What's the proper protocol? Who wants to start? Who's ever done this before?
I've done this.
Okay.
Everybody?
Yeah, you're probably lying if you haven't done this. Doug, I'm looking your way.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I do that all the time. I do it on purpose, though. So, just text people and say, "Hey, what's for lunch?" I go, "Who is this?" I'm like, I just checking to see what everybody's having for lunch. That's all good.
Nice. Okay. So that's Doug's protocol. Just pretend you know them. Nice. Who else? Who wants to go next?
We have this show in the UK. A well-known comedian called Michael Mcintyre. He does a bit in his live kind of show with a big live audience where he has a celebrity guest and he plays a game called Send to All, and he takes their phone and creates a text and sends it to all of their contacts, which is funny because they're well known. They also have well-known contacts. And it's highly hilarious, mostly for their embarrassment, but also the replies, who most of the time they play along with it, which is great. I think one of them was like, I really, something about, I really like a massage. Could you do one type thing? And it wasn't the well-known people that replied that was funny. It was the bizarre people that you've kept the numbers of, like the farmer that you bought strawberries from, that replies back to go, "What?" I think they're the best ones. I think going along with it is the funniest thing you could do. Yeah.
Mr. Abe, anything?
I'm pretty boring. If I send a message to the wrong person, like if it's whatever, like what's for lunch, and they say, "Who is this?" I'll say who I am, and then they might respond, "Oh, wrong number," and I'll say, "Oh, okay, have a good day," or something like that. I feel like it's really rude if you send a message to the wrong number and they never respond, because it's like, what am I supposed to do? I sent this message like, "I want a massage," and that person never responded.
Well,
Yeah.
I've done that just because I'm afraid it's a what do I want to say? That it's someone that they're trying to get your number so that they can spam you later on. So I don't generally respond unless it seems like they're really trying to get a hold of anyone. Well, I wonder.
And, Joe F says that you say "oops."
Oops. Okay.
Yeah. Someone sent me a message recently. They said, "Check your WhatsApp," and I was like, "I don't use WhatsApp." And I responded, "Who is this?" And they never replied. So
okay, then
I left it. I left it at that because they messaged me first, and I guess they just don't. They realize they made a mistake and they don't want to follow through.
Wow, that's a good idea. So we'll keep that in mind. Well, that's the existential questions I have for today. I do have some other ones. I keep forgetting to ask people from England. I kind of see how it's used in context, but there's this word chuffed.
Yeah.
The term. Yeah, kind of like, ooh, this is great. But I wasn't. What's the official definition over there in the UK?
Oh, I use chuffed all the time. It's a very Northern English thing. So I guess it's used all over the British Isles, but it's mostly England, Northern England. Which is where I'm from originally. They don't really use it so much in Scotland. But it's kind of like a cross between something really good and also a little bit proud. Like, you can be really chuffed of something.
Yes.
You can be really happy, but also there's a little bit of pride in it, but not too much, just enough.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's a word that I taught Tobias quite recently, and he's been using it a lot. So I've been teaching a Danish man all of Northern British things. So very interesting, random mixes of words.
Nice.
Well, I know we're never going to get to the topics about playing ukulele here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Continue this way. But what does Bob's your uncle mean?
Oh gosh, I guess it's just a term of that's it. I guess I really don't know where it comes from. But
that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, like that's it. That's the thing. Bob's your uncle. You got it. But I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, these are very ukulele related questions.
These are very important cultural questions that we need answered. True. Okay. I mean, like the next thing I was going to talk about was I'm really tired, and maybe that's my excuse for not getting all this set up correctly. I was at the Denver Comic-Con yesterday down there. Doug, did you get down there to the Denver Comic-Con, which is, I guess, they're getting to be one of the bigger shows around?
No, that's I have never been. Just like I've never been to Hawaii either. So, the two things I have to get to is Denver Comic-Con and Hawaii. So.
And Hawaii, yeah, definitely. Those should be high on your list. And I saw, one more thing before, and then I promise we're going to move on to the real questions here. I do have, look, everyone, I have real questions and everything. All right, the last thing is, does everyone know what cosplay is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. They have that over there in England too, I'm pretty sure, right? Okay, it's pretty big all over the world. What do you call someone who has like two things clashing together in the cosplay? Like this one's a really simple one. Like, someone was dressed as Wonder Woman the other day at Comic-Con, and yet she was carrying a Deadpool backpack. Now, the only reason I think that she was doing that is because the Deadpool backpack actually matched her costume a little bit. But I was thinking, that's kind of like,
maybe that's the only backpack she had.
Maybe. That's a good point. Now, I was thinking, is this called a mixed metaphor, a mixed cosplay? What do we call this? Crossplay? Ooh. No, that sounds different, but okay.
Sounds kind of like cross-dressing.
I know, but that's I don't know. Doug, do you have a
well,
term?
I know that there's like a subgenre of cosplay where it's all about gender swapping, and so you have like a female Han Solo, and then there's like the like I saw a Hello Kitty stormtrooper outfit.
That's great.
Yeah, just trying to
I want to
put
see
like
that
a
one.
different spin on things, which hats off to them. It's all very cool.
It's hard to pull off. Yeah, the other ones where they're just straight up I saw this tall guy with a beard dressed up as Wonder Woman. I go, wow, that does not work. That is not a good look. So I'm sorry.
Wonder bearded woman.
Yeah. Zoe, anything?
I think it works.
You do?
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I think you should be whatever you want to be.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm just saying that. I don't know. He didn't. Here's why I wasn't really that impressed. It didn't seem like he was trying so hard.
Okay.
I see.
That's why.
Just put on your pajamas, like your Wonder Woman pajamas.
Well, it was a little more than that, but at the same time, it was like, boy, that's not a really good costume. But I'm pretty sure I know who you are. All right. Okay. Sorry, everybody. That was my existential questions for the day. I also did the Book 'em Down performance yesterday, so that's why I'm really tired. I went to the Denver Comic-Con for just like an hour or two, and then spent too much money, and then I went to a Book 'em Down performance, which is a group I play with, and we played Hawaiian music, which is a lot of fun. All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Andy Andrews. I don't know if many of you know Andy. He lives in Leilani Estates, or did. I don't even know. I haven't heard back. And the group there had to find a different home for their ukulele get-togethers, because I don't know if you guys know, but Kilauea started erupting, and like half of the homes there were wiped out. I don't know how many, but like 80 homes and just gone. 160 homes. There's a lot of them. I did get an email back from Andy, and they found a new place to play music. So I'm just so happy. Just wanted to give a shout out to Andy. Thanks so much for being a patron and also being on the show. And we so hope that everything is going well for you. Still a lot of lava flow activity. There is a GoFundMe account that you can, if you want to contribute to them, to the residents there who are in need. We'll put that link in the show notes. So that's my shout out. All right. Whew. And now finally, from Ukulele Magazine, the British ukulele band, the Everly Pregnant Brothers, I don't even know who they are, will assume control of the Shakespeare at Healy, a long neglected pub south of Sheffield. Wow. Have you heard about this? What is, how is it? I wonder how that is going to go. I know that there's a lot of pubs out there that, especially around London, that have Ukulele Wednesday, which I think is great. Zoe, have you gone to a pub with ukulele, like, where they feature that kind of get together and song circle kind of stuff?
I probably have, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff. There's a really cool thing that Tricity Vogue does, who's more of a cabaret. I don't know whether you know Tricity, but she does like a cabaret evening where everybody in London, well, not everybody in London, but anyone that wants to go and play, do a big evening of fun ukulele related things, which is cool. I know about that, and I know that there's a lot of uke clubs that are making it more accessible. Instead of being like this is a club, it's more of like a come and jowl. And there's obviously Unplug the Wood as well.
Okay.
Do you know Unplug the Wood at all?
Yes. Yeah, we've had them on the show.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, Mike and Caroline, the hedge inspectors.
Yeah, hedge inspectors, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kravis does so I've been to that one. That one's good fun. That's basically an open mic though, but it's centered a lot around the ukulele, so it's nice and inclusive. I think it gets people seeing what the uke can do in a nice environment that they can all join in songs with. So I like that. Wow.
Well, I think that's kind of cool that a whole pub is going to be I don't think it's going to be dedicated, but this ukulele band bought it, and I think they're going to feature ukulele somehow. I'll keep tabs on that. So that's cool. Has anything like that happened in the States here? that you know of? I guess there's some spaces like out in California where they've dedicated to ukulele, you know, and they serve drinks and things. I think, I don't know, what's the U space out there in California? I think it is.
Yeah, who was it? Victoria talking about that
Yeah,
a while ago?
Yep, Victoria, because she moved out there, and I think Sarah and Craig, and then Daniel Ho is definitely involved in that. So that's kind of cool. So out there in the East Coast there, Mr. Abe, do they have anything like that? I know you don't have anything nearby, but
not that I know of. A space dedicated to ukuleles? No.
Too radical?
But I don't know. I don't get out much, so.
Neither do I.
Could be one in this city, and I don't know.
Okay. Okay, well, what was I going to say here about? Well, first of all, Zoe, it's so good to have you back. And I remember, like, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. I said, hey, have you been to those ukulele festivals? And I don't know if you remember this, but you're like, what? Ukulele festival? Do you remember that?
No, I think I did. I think I had been to a couple by then. There's a few in the UK, but they're different to the ones in America, definitely.
Oh, is that right?
A whole different breed. Yeah,
no kidding. Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I mean, they've got the Gnuff, which is huge, and I think that might be as big as, I don't know, any in the US, really.
Yeah, well, I haven't been to the US yet, so I should do that soon. But no, I can't compare. But there's quite a few. I've just been to Winchester Ukulele Festival. I've played at there's a Ukulele Festival of Scotland now, which is like an hour from where I live, which is really cool. And there's Gnuff. There was Cheltenham. There was one in Essex last year. There's one at the Isle of Wight. There's ones all over, literally all over the UK at the moment. There's one in Ireland as well. Gosh, there's so many. They kind of just exploded since we last spoke.
Yes,
there's like so many. If you go onto Barry Maz's ukulele thing, got a ukulele site, you can have a look at all of the festivals that are there. It's insane. There's so many.
It's such a small place. There's so many ukulele festivals packed into that island. Well, I just was I remember that, you know, I was like, oh, you got to get on the ukulele gravy train there, and sure enough, I see you all over the place now, Zoe. So that's great. In fact, you probably met one of our regular guests and friend of the show, Gerald Ross. He was at the which one was he at?
Ashoka?
Was he at Scotland or was he at Cheltenham? Hang on.
Yeah, I think he was at the Scotland one.
I think I did meet him. Yeah. I can see him in my head. I'm pretty sure. I didn't have that much of a conversation with him, but I definitely did briefly meet him. There were a lot of people at that festival, so you do miss a few. And there's some old people from back, old people. That's like awful. I mean, old school beginning of like YouTube ukulele community people that came to Scotland this year. So that was quite amazing.
Nice.
People that I had no idea who they were, but they were very well known to a lot of people. It was nice. It was a really cool vibe. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to get some tips on where to visit in Scotland.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I notice I have a shiny head here. See, this is the other thing about broadcasting is that you have to be aware of all these things. Zoe looks great. Mr. Abe looks great. And I've got a shiny head. So I don't know. And Doug, you look pretty good too. Can I see what are you doing with this? What is this? Okay, see, this is. I also have to explain
he's
that
muted, so you're not going to see it.
Are you muted? Oh, Doug, are you muted? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You're unmuted. All right. Very good. All right. Getting on to the next question. I want to talk about physicality and performance. Everyone knows who Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses is?
Who's that?
Okay. Woo!
I know who he is.
We just saw Taimane in concert at the Denver Ukulele Festival, and she just like cannot. It's almost like she can't stay still. Would you say, Doug? I mean, she just like she's. Have you seen her?
Oh yeah, it was it was an amazing show. But the motion that she brings to it is just really incredible.
Right, and then I was just thinking about that the other day, and I was trying to incorporate that into. Nah, I'm not really. I mean, really, you don't want to see me doing what she does in concert. But when I'm out there performing with Bookham Dano, I tend to just kind of be stiff and stay, right where I am, and just trying to get the mic just right. And I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Because Axl Rose, I guess Axl Rose just grabs a mic and he has a mic cord, so he can move around wherever he wants, huh?
I think as I'm a singer-songwriter, so because of my style, I guess I'm quite mellow. So I play my uke, so I have my mostly baritone uke, and then I sing. So there's not really much I can do if I have to play in one space. So I think I've learned to be able to shimmy back a little bit and then shimmy forward. But it's a whole craft in trying to keep the audience entertained when you don't move so much.
Yeah,
I think I like to tell them to close their eyes and just zone out and listen rather than watch me, because I can't do loads of dance moves. It's not something I can do. So I guess you have to entertain in a different way. But I do know a band. I've forgotten the name of them. It could be Brayback, but they're a Scottish Ceilidh band. There's like a 5-piece, 2 bagpipes and whatever else. And midway through one of the songs, the lead singer goes to the front of the stage and does some Highland dancing. So that's cool. For the rest of it, they're just quite upbeat and entertaining in that way. And you just snap your feet to kind of get involved, and then she does some dancing halfway through, which was cool. So I like that. There was actual definite break between rather than incorporated between. But I don't think I could get away with that.
I don't really move, because same thing, I have the mic in front of me, and it's like I can't, I don't want to get away from it. I generally just try to enjoy the song. I don't really think about what I'm doing. I'm pretty mellow too.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was just playing ukulele, I would move a little more, but not necessarily dancing, just because that's also not really my personality. I don't really like dancing. Sometimes I like moving to the beat, kind of like babies dance,
babies, yeah.
But
kind of that duck walk that Angus Young does. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's too much energy. No.
Do you not want to move like Mick Jagger?
Oh yeah, moves like Mick Jagger.
Jagger can keep his moves, so I don't need them.
Gosh, he's like, what is he, like 90, and he's still doing the same things that he used to be able to do. It's insane.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Man.
As opposed to Keith Richards, who looks like he is, halfway in the grave.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Doug, you got anything? Doug?
Well, I've worked long and hard on the Angus Young duck walk there.
Okay.
And so let me tell you, when I can do it, it's awesome. Most of the time, it's just really awkward. But and when at the Denver Uke community, a lot of times during the 2 and 3 chord songs, because I know all those songs so well, I make a point of kind of walking through the audience and make sure everybody's kind of on the same page, and make sure nobody's having any problems, or if somebody needs a stand, I can help them with that. But it was a lot easier to do when I had a vice president that could kind of keep the ship going.
Right.
Like the realization that if I go off the bridge, the ship can kind of go anywhere it wants. But
someone's still on the bridge, keeping it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ooh, what was that?
Well, right above here is the kitchen, and I think somebody dropped something in the kitchen. So but it's not Danish. So
it's not a Danish.
That's not a Danish.
Wait a minute. Okay. Actually, speaking of Danish, Zoe, what are you out in Denmark for? You're like recording an album or something, or doing a collaboration?
Yeah, I don't know whether you guys know Tobias Alof, but he's my partner, and we've been writing for the past 2 years. We've been doing.
Neat!
I went out 2 years ago to record an EP with him, and then last year he recorded my album in his studio.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, so I come over here quite often, obviously, but we're working towards an album, I think. So it's kind of cool. We have lot of his very talented Danish friends that are
Mm.
playing on it. So they played on my album as well. So
Well,
it's a cool collaboration.
send us the link, and we'll put it in the show notes if you want.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Cool. You know, I was one of our guests, Ben Hassinger, said that you have a really interesting kind of style and voice. I kind of think of it as Enya on the ukulele, except without the 1,000 voices.
Nice. Oh, thank you. No, I'll definitely take that. Yeah, but I have a really cool pedal, so if I wanted to, I could go.
You could do that 1,000 voices. Nice. All right. Very
yeah,
cool.
Do it.
Yeah. I'll have a go. I'll try and cover an Enya song and see how that goes.
You don't have to. You can do your own stuff. Hey, speaking of your own stuff, let's see. What's your latest CD here?
Oh my, it's Transients. Yeah, it came out in April. Yeah, my new album. It's my 4th release, but 2nd album. So
nice.
it's pretty, and I'm really happy with it. Oh, and it's on both CD and all the download places and streaming things you could want, but also vinyl.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
All right. Everyone's doing vinyl.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's coming back in. I think
know it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I
even in the UK.
think it's quite cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Sirius in Denmark. They don't really sell CDs anymore. It's streaming and vinyl.
Oh, streaming and vinyl. Interesting.
That's the two. Yeah.
Wow, that's
really cool. High quality at home.
Too.
Yeah.
You too, Mr. Abe? Is that
no? I was saying cassettes are also getting really big. Which is
oh no, cassettes! Oh, you're kidding. I cannot believe that a cassette is back in style, huh? All right.
I kind of understand vinyl. I kind of get that because it's the
kind of audio
high
quality.
Quality.
Yeah.
High quality, and there's the whole experience of actually putting it on and lifting the
right.
Like,
never thought of that.
That whole thing is an experience. It's like a ritual, I guess.
Yeah.
Physically having something, it's really awesome. Like the artwork, you get to dig through it like a treasure.
But it's different from a CD because even though a CD is physical and you put it in there, I think it's because of the size of the vinyl album. You know, it's big enough that they put. That's what I miss about the records. I don't miss the vinyl per se in terms of, am I missing out on quality? Maybe, but the convenience of digital is nice. But I really miss opening it up and having Yes, the group Yes, by the way, old school Yes. Yes, I'm dating myself. But Doug, you didn't have a rejoiner for that. I didn't. I'm surprised. Anyway.
I'm trying to figure out. YouTube actually won't let me put links in the comments section. So
right. Yes. So, Doug, what I'm gonna ask you to do. In fact, I was going to do this. This is one thing that I really like about that I liked about Skype was that Doug sent me all the links and they were right there and it worked great. I could even come back later and copy and paste it. Can't do that anymore with this. So Doug, I'm going to ask you a favor for this one. I forgot to, I'm still figuring this out, but if you could put it into a message and just email it to me, that would be awesome.
That is what I'm working on right now.
Nice. Doug, I love you, man. All right.
You guys should start a podcast together.
I know.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Think of that.
What could we talk about, though?
I don't know.
You're wearing some cool shirts.
Nice. That's right. Oh, well, let's see. Okay, let's move on. Are there any original ideas left for an ukulele workshop? Because it seems like, oh, great. Do you want to share that? Because
I'm not gonna say. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I've barely been to any ukulele festivals. Basically, it's classes, right, and concerts. Right. That's
they
up them, right?
Yeah, like the ukulele festivals, and I don't know if it depends on the performers and everything like that. Mm-hmm. In general, here in the States, they'll invite a performer, and if the performer can stay, and they really encourage them to do that, the next day the performer will have some workshops, and they've over the, it's like on songwriting, on fingerstyle, on you name it. a cappella yodeling with ukulele in the background, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that for the ukulele soiree in Altoona, they really make sure the performers are, when they're picking them, they want someone who will perform but also can teach. What
Right.
I was going to say for original ideas, when I look at festivals and the topics, generally I see there's not that much advanced content. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Something like playing harmonics with your thumb and your finger. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just things that are a little bit more complicated, like going past the 5th fret. I think I don't see that often enough.
Ooh, that's a good title for one, going past the 5th fret. But I'll bet you if you looked online, you could find it. I'm telling you that.
Sure. And then another idea I was thinking about, kind of inspired from bluegrass, is this idea of like a mixture of a master class and a performance where like Chris Thiele, the mandolin player, he did this with Aoife O'Donovan and Sarah Jarosz. They just played songs together and then they would talk about it. It was called How to Sing with Others. And they would just go over specific things, how they learned a song, what is going through their mind when they're playing, and then they would just play the example. I thought that was awesome. It was like over an hour. It's not really interactive, but they did take questions.
Okay.
So it's not something you would bring your ukulele to, but it would be something where you see some awesome performances, and then you also get to like pick their brain a little bit in some sense. I think that would be awesome at a workshop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just some
okay.
ideas.
No, those are great ideas.
Yeah, I think that's something similar to having been to many ukulele festivals and done workshops myself as well as attend a few. It's something that isn't done. Is like here's a more like a TED Talk type thing. He will talk to you about all of our stuff, and then you can ask. I mean, they don't really do that. I don't know whether they do that with TED Talks.
Oh, I love that.
That kind of thing. Isn't done as much, but I think with workshops. Yeah, I mean, you talk about going past the 5th fret. I know quite a few people that do some more intense things that way. The more intermediate, advanced things. There's a lot of beginner stuff because I think a lot of people like to go to those because maybe they downgrade their abilities as well. But I know quite a few. Yeah, I know quite a few people that have they go to the same ones just to be refreshed. So it's an interesting talk though. Idea talking about whether we're running out of original ideas or not.
I like that idea, kind of the TED Talk for ukulele.
Yeah,
you have that's really intriguing. Well, I kind of do that TED Talk with what I'm doing because I find the same thing about advanced classes too. It's a harder sell. People I think get intimidated, thinking, "Oh no, I'm gonna I'm not that good." It's like, well, that's how you get better. Is that you go and you try out these difficult ones.
Yeah, it helps a lot if some of them have the list of like beginner. You're a beginner if you can do this.
Right,
You're advanced if you can do this. I think that helps a lot. Some of them, when I look at them, I see advanced and I'm like, that's so easy. But I feel like if you're going to do more TED Talks where they can't play, you really have to have them recorded because ideally, if you're going to a workshop or if somebody's talking about anything where they want you to learn, you kind of have to experience it. So if it's live and you can never like revisit it, then it's just lost forever.
Well, I think you can I think there's a couple things for the TED Talk. See, this TED Talk idea is really taking a hold in my mind here. But you could record that, and it'd be great for a live broadcast or just recording it like a TED Talk. And then immediately after that, they could break up into little workshops where maybe some people are covering the same thing. Well, I see Zoe's head nodding there. So that
sounds like a really cool idea. I really like that. Yeah.
All right, let's start a ukulele festival with that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's do a digital ukulele summit. Does that work?
I don't know.
Just have like 100 people in a chat and then
you could do that too. They could do that too. Wow, these are great. I love it.
Yeah, one of the things that I think it was Kathy Fink said last month was what she would like to see across all of the festivals is a better or a kind of a uniform beginner can do this, and intermediate can do this, advanced can do that,
Right.
and that being able to choose what class you go to, that would make that so much easier if that was a little more defined.
Right. I think that's a great idea too. Doug, I gotta say, you look marvelous.
Well, I try.
No,
This is what a degree in lighting design will get you. It's right here.
Cool.
But Stuart had some lights hanging out in his house, and he said, "Hey, would you like some lights?" And I, as the lighting guy, I said, "Yes, I would like some lights." So.
And that backdrop, I mean, I can't believe that backdrop looks so. I'm sorry, we're going off the rails, as everyone knows we do. The backdrop looks so real. I don't know, how did you do that? Because I didn't know.
Is it real?
It's not.
I'm out on the farm. Exactly. Well, the crazy thing is that during the National Western Stock Show, when I broadcast from my office at work, you can actually hear cows and horses clip-clopping along. And, so it's all very rustic. Of course, I'm the guy that goes, "Hey, is that a big dog?" "No, that's a horse, Doug." So but I'm getting better at that. I know what different animals are now.
Some dogs are really big.
Right. I think you're
horses
thinking
are
of
really
a pony
small.
too. Wasn't that a pony?
Oh, yeah, we've got ponies and dogs and
All right. Hey, so folks here in the US, by the way, Zoe has not been to the US yet. So bring her over, right? Okay.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's very kind. Yeah.
No, we had a guest, Gerald Ross, that we were trying to bring to the Ukulele Festival. I don't know if they actually listened to us, or at least they listened. I don't know if they listened to me. They might have listened to Doug, but they finally brought him over. So, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I think there are some plans actually.
Nice.
I don't know whether I can talk about.
Oh,
or
that's
not.
okay. That's okay.
But,
Just tell us.
I'll tell you when it happens.
Right. And we will broadcast that and send out links and say,
thank
hey,
you.
we can go and see Zoe now in person. I'm trying to get over there to England actually. So maybe, which reminds me, you're going to have to mail me if I ever do get over to the UK, where's some great places to go to in Scotland, especially for
Yeah,
ukulele.
definitely. Yeah. I will do. Yeah.
Okay.
Or in Denmark.
Or in Denmark. There you go.
Surprisingly, there's not many ukulele things in Denmark at all.
Really? No. You could start. We have hope. We have whole podcasts on how to start an ukulele group there.
Oh, I think they have. I think there is one ukulele group in Copenhagen. Me and Tobias went and played a gig with where they were. So it was a new thing, though. He's very surprised by this. Yeah.
Well, there are some places where they haven't really. The ukulele hasn't caught on yet. I'm still amazed. No, it's all good.
Joe F would like to see some classes on transposing and arranging, and trying to figure out if you could work that into a short class. That's what Joe F out there.
All right.
Would like to hear.
Joe, I'm pretty sure we could do that pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to have this kind of circle. It wasn't really a circle of fifths, but it was a transposition wheel, and it worked really well. It's so cool, and it's so easy. You will be surprised. All right.
So like a robot? Robot that transforms into I don't know.
One easy way to transpose a song: just tune your ukulele up or down.
No, but then
play the same thing.
But then you're gonna always have
if
to
you
do
play
that.
by yourself.
Right, and you have lots of time. Yeah,
or capo.
Capo. There you go. All right. No, I'm thinking that if you see a song and you don't want to retune, and it's like,
it's too low, or
right, then you want to get into a proper key that works for you.
I just actually sang a little clip of Riptide for my Instagram, and one of the first comments is like, "This is great. Here is the chords if you want to do it lower." And I was like, I know it's way too high. I thought it'd be fun but transposition is a great skill to have.
definitely. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about gear lust. My current gear lust is a Kala U bass solid body, and I saw one at the Denver Ukulele Festival, and sadly passed up on that one. Um, anyway, what are your thoughts on ukulele as a bass instrument? Go ahead.
I had a not solid body, not I
Yeah,
wouldn't call it a hollow body.
No, it's
I
regular.
I had the regular U bass once.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool and fun. I feel like they're useless if they're not plugged in.
Right.
Because it's like you can't really hear them.
Mhm.
Ohana makes one that sounds really good. It's not quite as it's a little bit longer than the U bass, but ultimately, and I've heard this from other people, I didn't really like the intonation with mine. So I heard some people actually will go to the fretless and just learn the fretless
Oh,
U
you're
bass.
kidding. Ooh.
Just because of that. It's like
No
the intonation
kidding.
will be perfect.
Of course. Well, if you have
I
a
heard
good
it's
ear.
not as hard because it still has the markers for the frets.
Yeah.
Like a violin doesn't have that, you know. But
Mhm.
I don't think ultimately, because I'm kind of a perfectionist, I don't think it's ever going to replace the double bass. But the double bass is as big as a car, so it's impractical. But
Well, a
I think
Yugo
they sound
maybe,
great.
but not a regular.
Yeah. I think they sound great though, plugged in.
Oh, okay. Zoe,
I've heard the Ohana U bass, and of all the U basses, I think that's the better one. I think U basses with proper strings that aren't rubber sound best, but if I'm really honest, I don't really think they're necessary. I think they're a bit of fun, but I think again double bass will always sound better, obviously because it's a stunning instrument in itself, but I think this bass guitar is, if you want to play bass, learn bass guitar.
That's it. That's interesting. And so for all of you guys that are saying kind of going in that direction, a friend of mine who is a bass player, and he's a very good one. In fact, he brought his double bass last night to the gig, but he says, yeah, why are you, what did he say? Why do you have these, not toys, but you know, where it's not the normal size and you're doing this? Why don't you just learn the regular size? I do have a regular bass here, and maybe that's the direction I'll go back to, is just learn to play the regular size bass.
I think maybe it's just you get drawn into the fact that, I can take this anywhere with me.
Right.
Yeah, it's that kind of practical moving thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's still valuable as like a music making device.
Well, I'm thinking more about on the lines of just using it for recording. That I'm gonna, if I want to do some things at home, what should I get? I have a regular size bass, and it's okay, but it'd be nice to. I was thinking, it might be nice to get a U bass. I don't know.
Well, hopefully we haven't deterred you from that purchase now. Like, oh no, like sorry, Carla, not gonna get that money now.
Make sure you try it before you buy it, right?
Well, yeah. So there's one down in Denver at the Denver Folklore Center. So I'll have to try it out. It's a solid body one too. So that's the one I actually would like to get. Oh man.
Got the real bass out.
Yeah, get a load of that heavy metal piece of
wow.
Yeah, so
where'd you get that from, Doug?
I have a buddy of mine who's a bass player, and he's got 5-string, 6-string, like hundreds of, not hundreds, but lots and lots of basses. So I was recording the theme song for the Denver youth community. He's like, hey, you want to borrow one for that? And I said, sure. And so I played the bass line for that, and that was 6 years ago. So yeah,
you just forgot to return it.
Well, he's been over a couple times, and I keep saying, hey, do you want it back? He's like, why don't you hold on to it for a little bit? And,
wow, that's nice.
But yeah, it's got a big blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
What is that?
Blah, blah. That's, yeah, exactly. It's the dubstep bass.
All right. Nice. All right. Well, let's see. So how's the intonation there? I'm assuming that's a pretty nice bass, huh? What brand is that, by the way?
It is a Ibanez.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know because I I basically figured out my bass line and went ball 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 ball,
And that was
then
it. Huh?
yeah.
Well, you know. So you didn't like try Stevie Wonder's Sir Duke or anything like that?
No. I'm still in the beginning
yeah,
beginning phases of my bass
I,
playing for the last 5 years.
I think you have to be pretty incredible to play that. I've seen some, YouTubers that do the bass line for that. I'm just like, what the, you know? All right. Okay, well, there you go. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, you guys have convinced me. I'm gonna go and look at a regular size bass. Sorry, Kala. I will still go down to.
You're not gonna get the sponsorship now.
I know. Damn it.
Sorry.
Would that be your first bass?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, there he goes.
Well, that was very, very bad.
Hey, wait! It's Father's Day, so that's a good dad joke.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Wait
exactly.
a minute. Yes.
Oh, I have a good dad joke.
Go.
I like to tell dad jokes. Sometimes he finds them funny.
Go ahead.
That was the joke.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, it's like that was a very long penny drop moment.
Right over.
That's a joke Doug would tell. Really?
It's good.
You and Doug. Wow.
Well, that's the reason I had kids, is so I could tell those jokes.
Yeah.
And speaking of we just mentioned his name just a second ago.
Stevie Wonder?
No, and he was just here in Denver, and
Gerald Ross.
Yes, Gerald.
Okay.
Like the jokes that I always thought he was kind of funny, but boy, the jokes he brings out in his concerts are epic. Just the biggest dad jokes out there, and he tells them with such a plum that he is terrific in concert. So good job.
Yeah. Good job, Gerald. Like folk music food. Yes. You have to listen to our other podcasts to understand what that's about. But speaking of dads, I forgot to give a shout out to all the dads out there who are playing ukulele, and that would include Doug and Mr. Abe. Are you a dad? Yeah.
I have 4 kids.
Wow. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a dad.
And I'll say a shout out to my dad, but I know he's not listening to this podcast. So.
My dad is, and I haven't seen him because I'm in Denmark. So there you go. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Do they have Father's Day over there in the UK?
Yeah, it's Father's Day today too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how cool. They've synchronized everything. That's really
usually
nice.
they don't. Yeah. So
they don't even synchronize when they switch over the time.
No.
All right. Next on our list, let's keep moving here. I just got a couple more, not as exciting. You strap or strapless kind of player. I know that Doug, you said once you were strapless, but I think
still strapless.
All right.
After all these years.
Strapless after all these years. All right, Mr. Abe, strap or strapless?
Both. I prefer strapless, especially because it's a small instrument, the tenor. I think it's pretty manageable. But there are instances where I feel like I really need it. Like when I'm teaching, I need a strap because I can't put it down constantly. That's just the situation I find myself in. I like being able to, even though I don't do this, swing it and put it on my back like a guitar.
Yeah.
And then I have another strap I use that is kind of like Jake Shimabukura's, where it clips to the sound hole. I use that sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually when I have to move around a lot and I did not practice well enough, because it takes a little bit of the weight off and it just makes it helpful. But primarily I just hold it. I love being able to just put it down because if I put a strap on, I feel like I'm playing guitar again, and I kind of want it to move away because I feel more restricted that way with a strap. So I do both, but I prefer strapless if I can.
Now, when you say you swing it around on your back, do you do the thing where you swing it up and then it comes back around and you keep on playing?
Never.
That's the bestest.
Even if I had strap locks, I just wouldn't. I've seen too many people go, whew, and then it goes, and I'm just like, I don't want to hit someone. I'd hit people just by turning with the neck, and it's like, what's going to happen if I throw it? That's terrifying.
I've always had a strap.
Okay.
Always. Yeah, I used to have one of those necklace ones, which were very dangerous because they hung, you went behind the ukulele and then in. So if you let go at any point, they'd fall. But it helped with balancing for a while. But I think I started with a soprano that was a little bit bigger than usual, and I was also 13, so I needed something, and I couldn't fit it properly. But I play baritone now. I play baritone and tenor, so I have to use a strap to play baritone, otherwise I can't. And I think I also stand when I'm performing, so it's best for me to have that. I think it doesn't really matter. It's whatever's most comfortable for you when you're playing. It's whatever makes it easiest. It doesn't change the sound really, apart from the fact you've drilled a hole in the bottom of it. But
now I had a thing. My strap is the neck and the heel, right? When I played guitar, anytime I played a guitar where the strap was connected to the neck, I noticed it would often go a little bit out of tune because of the weight. So when I put a strap on an ukulele, I am paranoid that if it's on the headstock, it'll be just a little bit out of tune because a little bit of pressure will theoretically bend the neck. Is that something you guys ever think about? Where should I put the strap?
No.
Okay, not in relation to that.
Well, I don't think if you put it in the sound hole, then you don't have to worry, obviously.
Right. But I don't think my intonation is good enough to worry about that. I do use the strap that goes in the sound hole, which a lot of people know as the classical guitar. I think started that, and the only reason I would think about switching is that it's not balanced, so that you always have to have a hand on it. It does help out tremendously, and it's
so you have to have a hand on it to play it,
right? But no, I mean, but then you can, if you're gesticulating.
How big is that ukulele that you're over here?
Why do you have a uke if you're not playing it?
Because you're talking and you interact and you're trying to tell a joke. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I do think that having the one where you have a strap either from the if you have a plug-in input for your 1/4 inch, and then on the neck, that works out well. A lot of people also have it, which I'm like, ooh, where you put a button on the neck, on the heel of the ukulele, and that just is like, that's cool. And I'm also like, wow, you're drilling another hole in that ukulele. But
that's what I did with one of mine.
I think that's okay. It's just, I haven't gone fully on the one where you put it on the end pin or whatever, end jack, and then it's the other end is tied to the neck. I don't know.
Hey, Zoe, Peter says thanks.
Oh, thanks, Dad. I mean, he could have messaged me, but that's very nice.
Oh, that is nice. He's watching.
Oh, that is
cool.
Nice.
We're gonna get more people on, hopefully, and more watchers and listeners. But this is great. It's kind of like a family thing.
Yeah, it's a family reunion.
Excellent. So that is the strap thing. Then what was I gonna say? Oh, so I think the one where you put the button on the neck, on the heel, that one you don't have to worry, right? Because it goes from the heel to the end jack. Is that how it works, Mr. Abe?
Usually a piece of wood right there. I mean, I didn't install it, so I'm confident in its integrity. But the plug is where the strap goes. Yeah,
so the plug and then that button on the heel of the neck.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on the heel of the neck, you don't have to worry about. I mean, unless you're really get a whammy bar or something. That would be. That's what I need to get is a whammy bar for my ukulele.
Nice.
I've seen that.
Nice.
Really?
It's hideous. You're making music. Do what you want. As long as it sounds good to you.
Right. Yeah, I've have an effects pedal on there, and I've rocked out putting some distortion and all kinds of effects on that. It is kind of fun. Let's see, last one, and then I'll open it up to you guys. And if there's any other comments in there in our live stream, let me know. I saw this new case from Groove Gear, I guess. It looks like it's a semi-soft. Anyone use one of these? I'm just wondering how well it protects
Blade?
it. Yeah, that's it.
I don't use them. I have seen them. They look
Okay.
they look pretty interesting.
Are they hard case or soft case?
I think they're soft cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always worry about that. Is that tough enough to bring with you on a trip?
Oh, I can answer this one.
Yes.
Sorry, just jumping in. With soft cases, Fusion Bags, the brilliant company from UK, Sarah and Craig travel all over with them, and I've been using them for donkey's years. Since my first ukulele I got was in a Fusion case, one of their old ones, and now I have their double cases and also their because they do baritone now, which is great. And they also have like a backpack that you can have which fits my pedal, and I use them all the time, and I've been using them for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years, the same cases, and they've looked after my ukuleles perfectly. I've also traveled to and from Denmark, and mostly Denmark, with them. I did have them as cabin luggage though, and I did also buy a seat for them, I think, once, because the flights were quite cheap, so I could buy an extra seat for it. But
wow,
I know that Sarah and Craig put it above. I mean, mine's baritone; it doesn't really fit above the. But if it's tenor or smaller, it can go in the cabin, and I know they will swear by how great they are. So don't bash soft cases. There can be some really amazing ones.
Well, that's what I'm not quite sure about. Is that they'll get bashed and not literally. So sounds like as long as I guess I still would be concerned about checking the luggage, but I suppose you can, Yeah,
I'd be concerned about checking it in. I wouldn't want to check in a soft case.
So if it's carry on, no problem. Maybe not check in. Those I would want to get one of those ballistic carbon fiber.
Oh, I literally just bought one. I bought my dad's converting it at home. I bought what was it? It was an X mining tool, I think they used for I don't know whether it was the arm or something, but it's big, long. It will fit both my ukes, and I'm going to be getting some new ukes soon, so they'll fit them as well. But basically, you can drive over this stuff, and it will not go anywhere.
So that's the kind of stuff you want to check in. Yes.
Yeah. So it will be so much more great for me traveling, I think, definitely.
So it's kind of a long carbon fiber case, and you're getting the cutouts in there for the ukuleles. Is that what you have?
Yeah. We're gonna get because we're thinking of taking, because with Fusion, with their soft cases, they have like a Velcro-y kind of felt thing, so it means that they can stick Velcro on, which is it means you can reshape the padding inside the UK. So you get the regular padding, and then you get more padding inside, so you can move it around depending on the size or shape of your ukulele. But my dad had this genius idea of getting similar felt inserts so that we can use the same padding from the Fusion bag, because it worked so well. But James Hill has been using an X-gun case for years. If you see him, that he's got his full, I think it's grey as well, as this long thing, and he has all his ukes, and I think his fiddles in there as well, and that's what he's been touring with for years. Yeah.
Cool. Well, so it sounds like you've met quite a few also artists traveling over there. So you mentioned James Hill and Sarah and Craig. So they were just over there too, right? Weren't they?
Yeah. James was just at Scotland actually. So I was talking to him for a while. But Sarah and Craig, I've met a couple of times at different festivals. Yeah, I was also over. I spontaneously went to the Berlin Ukulele Festival, which was forgotten the name of it. But and they were playing there as well, and that's what they travelled with all the way from America.
Wow, so that's very cool. Yeah. Berlin, I guess, is a pretty good ukulele area. So we'll have to,
it's nice. It's a cool place. Yeah.
Fun times. Okay, well, so good to know. Soft sides okay for carry on, and then so get a carbon fiber if you're checking it in, which is definitely what I would do of some sort now.
as much as possible.
As much as possible. Doug or anyone, there's any other questions coming in here? I don't see any on the Patreon side. So
no, I think we're doing good.
All right, we've answered all the questions, so there's nothing really more that we need
Nothing to talk about.
Wow.
Yeah, I think my dad just messaged me to say it was a metal detector. I thought it was a mining thing, but it seems to be.
Oh, wow.
Take those in
Yeah, he said. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but he said perihardig. I don't know whether that's the material or whether that's what it is. I'm going to Google that.
So it was a metal detector case, and you guys are modifying it. That is awesome.
Perihardig. So, I don't know what it is.
Nice.
Type of case. Ah, okay. It's the see. It's the make. There you go. This is you message your dad while he's telling you all the details. Yeah, it's the make of it. There you go. Thanks, Dad. So now you have all the information.
Nice. So they're going to be a run on those kind of cases now.
I know, yeah. Go. I got it on eBay for really good. So
sold out already.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, that's how you got it. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Zoe, was it the Berliner Ukulele Festival?
Yes. Is the logo a bear?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really cool because it's in a like an enclosed environment. So they have a cafe right in the middle, and they have theatre as well as little spaces to obviously for all the trade stalls, and then also workshop spaces very close. They've got also accommodation for the art, which is great for the artists because they are on site. I think it was one of those kind of commune-based things that have now become a centre. So it was built, I think, in the 70s, that kind of idea. So they had a lot of things going on. So like halfway through the Saturday, somebody was doing Tai Chi in one of the rooms.
Nice.
And on the Sunday morning was the martial arts class, that kind of thing. So it was really nice to just be in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
It's cool
Tai
to have
Chi and
structures
ukulele.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk, Doug? Didn't we talk about like ukulele yoga or something?
Ooh.
Who was it that I was? He came through just a couple years ago. He does a cruise with Little Rev.
Boy, can't think of it.
Give me just a second. Hold, please. Stu Fuchs.
Okay.
He's really big on the yoga and just.
I met him.
Oh, isn't he great? I think he's just super. And he's done the Denver Uke Fest twice and has been just fantastic both times. So,
wow.
Yeah, shout out to Stu.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this up, and I want to find out about what you guys are doing. Ooh, by the way, Mr. Abe, you have just released your CD, and I apologize if I forgot to mention that.
No problem. It's my first studio album, funded by all my amazing friends and families on Indiegogo. Yeah.
Is that how you got it done? Nice. Well, I'll have to say that I was as impressed with your vocals as was with your ukulele. So that was a little bit of a surprise in that, I thought, oh yeah, this would be ukulele, but it was both, and nice job.
Thank you.
What's it called?
It's called I Will Be What I Will Be.
Oh, cool. And can you find that on your website?
It's at ukuleleabe.com or Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, whatever else I can think of. I don't know what Deezer is, but anyway, it's on there.
We'll put a link in there. Wow, look at that. Go Zoe. You could be a podcast.
Sorry, I'm just.
Oh no! You can do a podcast yourself. Yeah.
Maybe I should. I could do like a ukulele travels thing. I can take my little recorder.
That'd be very cool. There's one called Ukulele Road Trips. This guy that does that. That's kind of interesting. So, podcasting about your travels would be a very cool thing. He just travels kind of more on terms of he's visiting different areas with his ukulele, and it's more of a cultural thing. but I think you could do something with your travel. If you do a lot of traveling and you want to travel, podcast about that. I am all over doing more ukulele podcasts. I know that Mr. Abe has his also.
Yeah.
So Zoe, if you're going to start one, please let me know.
There's a great one, actually. Sorry, I'm interrupting you there, but you talked about Prabbers and Caroline that Unplugged the Wood. They have a podcast now.
Yes.
And they're doing that in the UK. And it's cool. Really cool. And they get people to, ukulele acts to ring in, and they record a little message and send it in. So it's awesome. And they play tracks for original songs. And just have a general natter about all the festivals they've been to. But it's very funny. And I highly recommend it. Just don't listen to it at work because you will laugh out loud.
Or is that also because it's NSFW for work, meaning not quite suitable?
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it's not anything bad, but it's just funny.
Nothing too naughty.
No. But you will laugh.
Awesome. Yeah, they mentioned that too about they were starting that up again. I guess they had one for a while and then they kind of weren't as regular. So now they're starting up again. I'll have to check it out. So what was the name of that again?
It was Unplug the Wood podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the link to that is going to be in the show notes. So yeah no worries. And Bob's your uncle.
Oh, wait a minute.
There you go. Awesome.
Not doing your Patreon. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. Oh, yes. I forgot that what I should have done in here. Wow. Shame on me. I want to do a Patreon shout out. That if so for those of you, first of all, if you enjoy this podcast, listeners out there, please share it, because one of the goals that we have is to get 2,000 listeners on a regular basis of this podcast per episode. So we're creeping up there, but we've got a few hundred more at least to go. So please share it, number one. And if you do share it with your ukulele group, we will give you a shout out on the show. And then even more importantly, or just as importantly, I should say, is that if you do enjoy it, please support the show. All you have to do is to join up on Patreon, donate whatever you want. And it's really great because on a monthly basis, I have a regular known income that I can use. And I do things like get new equipment for people. You could say that Doug's backdrop and lights were sponsored by Patreon, if you will. We've gotten Zoe, if you come on the show enough times, we'll get you a mic if you want. Although I think you have some pretty nice recording mics around, so maybe when you're at home you'll use them. But
yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. If you want to travel one, we can get you a nice USB mic. The Doug uses a Snowball, and are you on the Snowball today, Doug? Yay! And that one sounds great too. So that's what we like to get people, especially if you're a singer-songwriter as yourself, Zoe. We would probably send you one of those. So thanks so much to my patrons. You guys are awesome. You rock. And there's one other thing I wanted to give a shout out. If anyone is interested in helping me redesign my website, please let me know. I'd love to see what you do. I use Joomla, but I'm open to moving to another whatever WordPress or whatever. Just getting.
I recommend WordPress.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have a good designer, you can send my way that's interested in helping me out. I would be grateful. All right. Thank you, Doug, for the tickler there. So, Zoe, what's happening with you? You're recording? Are you touring? What's going on?
I'm recording at the moment. I'm recording with Tobias. We're gonna come up with something that's an album together, which is quite nice. You should check him out. He's Tobias Elof. I'm Zoe Bestel, in case you don't know. But also, I'm off traveling again. I have ukulele festivals in Prague. I'm off to the Czech Uke Festival at the end of July, and also to Finland.
Finland.
It's called Ukulele. think that that's what it's
Nice.
called.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've been told that there's a sauna backstage, so very, very Finnish.
Okay.
So it's a cool one, and then I have a few more UK ones that are yet
Nice.
to be announced. But that's all on my website, which is zoebestel.co.uk. But that'll all be linked to.
Okay. Very good.
So no, it's cool. Yeah, working on some new stuff, but mostly just promoting my latest album, Transients, which you can again get everywhere that you want to get it. So.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it though. It's one of those things that you go, I'm actually really happy with it. So go see it if you want to.
We will get a copy, or I will get a copy.
Yeah.
Everyone go out and get a copy.
Oh, thank you.
All right. And Mr. Abe, are you doing any touring or going to any ukulele festivals, or you gonna invite me to your podcast? Hint, hint.
Yeah. What's going on? Well, I released my album, but it's like 2 months old now or something.
Oh man, that's ancient history.
I'm trying to yes, it's old now. I'm trying to play when I can. I'll be doing like a summer camp here at my school. We're done on Tuesday, so that's when summer vacation starts. That's primarily what I do. I'm just a teacher. What am I doing over the summer? Besides summer camp, I'll be going to Toronto for the JHUI teacher training.
Yeah.
And then I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do. Different, just finding different gigs. I don't really travel much. I'm looking for podcast festivals and, of course, podcast ideas. Not podcast festivals, ukulele festivals. Podcast at, like I did at the ukulele soiree. And, of course, thinking up my next episode for my podcast. But, yeah, working on all sorts of things.
Cool.
Do you live stream much? Is that your thing? Can you
live stream? I've been thinking about it. I have not put a lot of time into it. I'm in the middle of a 21-day song challenge on Instagram, all these different things. And I like it because it's a good creative, it makes me make something every day, which is nice. So I'm also working with my schedule and my creative workflow, because I finished an album and then I kind of took a break, and the rest is kind of taking over, I want to keep making stuff, but yeah, getting back into making stuff consistently. But yeah, I've seen a lot of success stories of live streaming and just making whole careers out of that, which is it's definitely interesting to me to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's I think if once you get down the recipe here, I think it's pretty easy. Well, if I didn't want to try and record it at the same time, I think it would be a lot easier. It's YouTube at least makes it really simple to do. You just set it up, click the go, and bam, it's really cool. Like I said, the hard part is if you're a knucklehead like me and you want to try and record it at the same time, it's not as easy as it should be. I'll get the recipe down, by the way, folks out there. I don't think you'll notice it. I think the YouTube does a pretty good job of recording it, so that's what I'm going to be using this time. All right. Well, Doug, you just had a get together.
We just had our barbecue or our campfire songs meeting, where we do it's outside and everybody brings a picnic lunch, and it's all she'll be coming around the mountain, and songs that you sing at camp sometimes.
Yeah.
But we had a great time, and this being 5 Saturdays this month, though, we're doing a double dip, and I think the theme this month is musical songs, the stuff from Greece and I don't know, Phantom of the Opera. I haven't really thought it through yet, but
Oh, I like that. Greece is the word. That kind of thing. Yeah, I could.
Wait, what's the word?
Okay.
I thought the bird was the word, but
no. Go ahead and watch Grease again. I think it wasn't. Did I get the words wrong? I'm sorry. I apologize for the musical people out there who love musicals, and I just ruined that for you.
I did a production of Grease, so I know all the songs from Grease because I've seen that show a million times.
You could correct me then.
Your memory.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's funny because I work with I end up working with a lot of real theater people that are fans of all these musicals, and I'm like, basically, if I haven't done production on that show, I don't know any of the songs. So I don't know anything from Cats. I don't know anything from like all the musicals that everybody's Annie, Get Your Gun. I don't know any of those.
Yeah.
But the ones that I've done, I know all of those.
All right. Yeah. The other thing. So that's awesome. So that's your double dip month to this month. That's awesome.
This Saturday, it's going to be terrific.
Yes. Wait. You just had one, so it'll be in 2 Saturdays, right?
Yeah. So this was the 3rd Saturday, and then when there is a 5th Saturday, we do the 5th.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I almost got confused there. And anything else? I'm trying to think. I don't know. What's your secret for the shiny head there, Doug? You just don't. I know I've got.
Well, it's all about the right lighting angles.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I
think it's just getting a fringe. Just have a fringe.
I wonder if you turn off the lights. You start to. Am I shiny now?
A little bit, yeah.
I dim mine because I can't. It's too bright.
I can adjust this light here. I think it's this light here mainly. It's too bright, so I'll try that next time. Okay. Makeup is that's what I think is the answer. Someone gets makeup.
Extra step to prep.
Just powder. Well, that's what they do in the TV, right? They powder you for exactly this. All right. We didn't get to do any performances this time, so I'm going to have Mr. Abe and Zoe back on here. And Zoe, we'll get you back on when you're home, so that you can get one of your mics that you like.
Thank you. Yeah, and there aren't some laughing Danes downstairs.
And we can quiet down those Danes. Yeah, that's really. All right. Well, it's great to have
something.
Yes, go ahead.
A new piece of gear that I got. It's so awesome. Okay.
All right.
it's a cable, and it mutes automatically when you unplug it, so you do not need to turn off your amp.
Really?
They have some with switches made by Planet Waves, but this one is a Mogami.
Wow.
Someone bought this for me, and it's this little thing right here. When I plug it in, it's automatically connected.
Okay. Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Cable.
So the switch is built in.
Yeah. I hate having to switch instruments and turn off the amp so it doesn't explode.
Yeah. No, I have the Planet Waves, and they have the thing on the end, but it's not automatic. And you can imagine that every once in a while I'll plug it in and forget to connect it back up, and then I'm playing and going so I have to.
Yeah.
Well, I have the very expensive version of that, in that I have a pedal that mutes when I tune it, so that I can mute and tune and take it out and whatever else.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more expensive than the cable, just a tiny bit.
Oh, I don't know. Mogami cables are pretty expensive.
Oh, true.
They're like these ridiculously expensive ones. Anyway, well, maybe, who knows? We'll have to do either one. The pedal is a good idea too. I just have never, I have the clip-on tuners and things like that. I'll have to look into that too. All right. And I think that is going to wrap it up for us. Unless you guys have anything else. It's been so great to have Zoe Bastel back on the show after a couple years, I think.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been really good fun, all the way from tiny, I'll pronounce this incorrectly, but it's Samsu. I think it's a little tiny Danish island. But
it's a Danish island. Not even on the mainland.
No, not even on the mainland. They're on a tiny island. But no, it definitely has cars. But
okay,
it's very small.
Wow. And then back on the show, Mr. Abe, Ukulele Abe. Go out and check him out and his podcasts. Maybe we will see Mr. Abe sometime. But you're working on that James Hill certification, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is actually my last year, and I'll be level 3 after that. I'll be super
nice.
Teacher.
You'll be like certified.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And then Mr. Doug Brown of the Denver Ukulele community. Thank you for hosting and gathering up all the links again.
Well, I do what I can.
And that's an awesome t-shirt.
I like it.
Very cool. Okay.
Oh,
everybody.
and I think that the episode that Zoe was on was December 20th, 2015.
Wow. 3 years,
yes.
almost 3 years ago.
Whoa. That would have been just after Cheltenham, my first Cheltenham Youth Fest.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
There you go. And now you're on the ukulele gravy train. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want any internet guys to get mad at me. It was actually October 18th, 2015, and that's where you talked about Mr. Montgomery Plinkerty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode 35.
Yeah, I must have just gotten them. Yeah, I'm about to upgrade. Shh.
We won't tell him. All right. So as we do on every show, on 3, let's all say aloha. 1, 2, 3. Aloha. All right. Thanks, everybody. Zoe, please send me your links. And Mr. Abe, you too. Send me any links you want.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Okay. You're welcome.
It was great talking to you guys. Talk to you later.
All righty.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.